Hello and welcome back to another vlog. So what are we reading this week, right? I am determined to finish The Duchess of Faye. I'm on page 100 out of 300 or something. Yeah, 3 something. I think I can do it because I read like 80 pages in one sitting, and it's just that type of book where it grabs you. I also want to read some in Blood Like Magic because I'm doing a buddy read. What else am I trying to? Oh, of course, comics and manga. Always. I have a secret vlog that I need to start working on once the Instagram results come in, so that will also be happening. You won't get that in this vlog because, again, secret vlog. I also want to read, or I want to start rather, Their Vicious Games. Yeah, I'll put the cover here because I don't feel like taking it out. But I've been inspired, finally, for them to stop staring at me. I've been inspired to start one of these books. Don't mind the laundry on the bed. We have The Chosen and the Beautiful by Ning Vo, as well as Siren Queen. These holds, like, these are my personal copies, but the ebook holds keep coming in on Libby, and I keep having to like either return them or, you know, delay them. But I want to read one of these this week. I don't know which one, so I'm gonna put a poll on Instagram so people can help me choose. But one of these will be finished in this vlog, like point blank. No more excuses. So I ordered halal for dinner. Not gonna show any pictures of that because I ate it all. But you know how they do, like, oh, order from this place that's also in the same area as where you order from in the next 10 minutes and save on fees? I couldn't. That Cold Stone was so long. But I freaking love a red velvet ice cream. So I'm looking forward to enjoying this as I finish up that time I got drunk and saved a human. So yeah, I am on page 226 of 278. So we got about like 50 pages left. Really excited. Time got away from me. I got caught up trying to solve a Sudoku puzzle. Man, this one is just like, there's been 2 recently that have just truly been kicking my butt. Anywho, I finished that time I got drunk and saved a human. I gave it 5 stars. I think the fact that it was longer than the other 2 definitely helped it, because in my, not critique of the other 2, but what I wanted more of in the other 2 is just more time with the relationship. And this one, you have that fantasy element, but because it's not the driving force like it is in the first book, and even the second book, okay, how do I say this? In Mead Mishaps numbers 1 and 2, I would say that the split between romance and fantasy for book number 1 would definitely be like 60 on the fantasy, 40 on the romance. Book number 2, I would say would be like maybe 50-50. I would say like maybe like 55-45, because there's also like this weird mystery element to it. And then you have the whole love potion thing. So, okay, I guess, yeah, that's like a 55-45 or a 60-40 with fantasy being in the lead. With this one, however, I found that it was 70% romance, 30% fantasy, and the fantasy elements of it was just them being different places where these fantastical elements were. Hello, kitty cat. And you have like the bulk of the fantasy coming at the end, if that makes sense. Like, it's still a fantastical world, but because you don't have a quest like in book 1, or you don't have a love potion that's trying to be undone like in book 2, you get a lot more of the romance and the love and the spice. So I gave that one 5 stars. I have not, well, actually that's not true. I finished The Apothecary Diaries volume 9. Really enjoyed it. Again, look out for my 31 and 31 wrap-up video at the beginning of September to hear all my thoughts on all the comics and manga I've read. But in terms of, oh, I also listened to more of an audiobook, Our Lady of Mysterious Ailments by T.L. Huchu. This one is a second book in a like fantasy paranormal mystery series. I finished book 1, which is called The Library of the Dead, on Monday, I think. Yeah, that tracks. And it's funny because I had previously started book 1 when it first came out. I DNF'd it like 25% in because it wasn't doing what I needed it to do, and the character just we weren't vibing, okay? I decided to give it another try because I signed up for a tour for the third book, and I was like, let me give it another try. So I tried the audiobook. Much better reading experience in terms of like me being able to put it on, and like there's all these different things about the world that are interesting. And so basically in that book we have Ropa, who this takes place in like a near future world in Scotland, where it's like gone kind of back to the, not the Dark Ages, but it's gone kind of back to like Victorian-esque London, kind of, but without the dress of Victorian-esque London, and it's dystopian in a way. And so we have Ropa, who can talk to the dead, and for a fee, this is like her job, for a fee she helps the dead get messages to their living. And when we meet her, this spirit is like, hey, I really need you to find out what happened to my living son, because he was taken and something's not right. And there are these other mothers here who are like, someone also took my child. There's like that mystery. That mystery is solved kind of for the most part in the first book. So this second book takes place following the same main character, and we have this boy who like essentially falls into a coma, but they don't know why. Like there's no medical reason why. And so Ropa is tasked with finding out if there's something that is malevolent or otherworldly that could be happening. I will say that I appreciated, or I liked the narrator of book 1 better than book 2, because they switched narrators in between them. And yeah, I don't know. Or maybe it's just, let me not say I like her better. The accent is not as thick in book 1 as it is in book 2. So I like have to pay like special attention. And also I had to slow it down to 1.25, which I normally do not do because that's just how thick the accent was. Whereas in book 1, there was still an accent that made sense, but it wasn't super, super thick. So I was able to follow along at a higher speed and get through it. But I mean, it's, you know, fascinating, and the main character, she's funny. But in terms of reading, that's pretty much it. I did not realize how late it was. It is 1:10 in the morning, and so I do want to go to bed very soon. This dang Sudoku puzzle, man, is just like, I think I'm gonna, you know, step away from it again and return at some later time. So y'all, I think Strawberry knows the word treat, because I said it to her as a joke, and then she just would not leave me alone. Like, just kept meowing, following me around. So they're right there, Strawberry. These are treats, by the way. It's not poop. These are just organic, holistic treats.
It's the end of the weekend, but I
despise how blue I look. I guess that's just outside. Yeah, but I am on the balcony. I took some pictures, did some reels, or took like the footage for reels, and now I'm going to actually prep a book for reading. The book that one of the books that I put a poll up about. I'm pretty sure I know what book won because I've been checking. Yeah, so that was 22 hours ago, 2 hours ago. This is what it looks like between Siren Queen, which is on the top, and The Chosen, the Beautiful, which is on the bottom. I don't see that, oh yeah, I don't see that flipping in the next 2 hours, so I'm just gonna, you know, call it and say that Siren Queen won, which means that I need to prep it for reading, which for me means deciding what color tabs I'm going to use and what each tab means. Because I have both books in from the library. I'm like, I think I'm gonna have The Chosen and the Beautiful be delivered later, and then I'll check out Siren Queen just in case I want to read it in bed. Those are the vibes. As I do this, I did not bring out my headphones. I looked at them too. I looked dead at them. I was like, am I gonna listen to an audiobook up there? Probably not. And then I proceeded to leave my room. But I'll just listen to the audiobook on my phone speaker. Again, still listening to Our Lady of Mysterious Ailments, The Lady of Mysterious Ailments, I don't know. Whatever the actual title of that book is, I'm going to continue to listen to that. Actually, I love this cover. I love this cover so much. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the cover to Mexican, no, not Mexican Gothic. What is it? I'm looking right at it too. It's another Sylvia Moreno Garcia book. Wow, I'm like looking right at it. What is it? Velvet Was the Night, yeah. That's the vibes it gives. Velvet Was the Night, which I actually really enjoyed. What did I give this? Like 3 stars, 3.5? I don't have my rating in the story graph, so I gotta look at Goodreads. Anyways, let's do it. Let's do it. I started another book because I did lay down. Today is Friday, and I got up. I was up at the time that I would want to be up in an ideal world, and I was doing fine. I was doing fine, and then I started to not feel good. I was like, ugh. So I got back in bed and just kind of laid there for maybe like 90 minutes. I was reading. I didn't even fall back asleep. And I started to feel more energized. I guess I started to feel energized. Then I started to also get a headache, like a really bad one, like in like the back of the skull, and dizziness ensued. So I did take something, but then I got up because I was like, I am at a level that I can still function a little bit. I am going to make a conscious effort to decrease my screen time. It is Friday, like I said. There's no new video on my channel, and that's just, you know, that's okay. I do want to edit, not this current vlog, but the previous vlog. I do want to edit that. I'll probably do that on Sunday and Monday because I am going out tomorrow. I'll do that between Sunday and Monday and get that up on Tuesday. I have a haul that I want to film, but I can't film it because the books are coming in. It's the Barnes & Noble's 50% off sale. Like, I bought, I think, 7 books. 4 of them arrived yesterday, 2 of them arrived today, and then 1, I believe, is coming on Monday. And that's the downside with, not the downside, right? I love the instant purchase button on Barnes & Noble. It's just like, that's just like such a satisfying feeling. Like, I want this book, I know I want this book, instant purchase. The downside is that when you make that decision several times in like the span of, I don't know, an hour and a half, it's 7 separate orders. So they're all coming in different packaging and they're all coming different days. And I thought about, you know what Barnes & Noble's needs? Barnes & Noble's needs the feature that Amazon has. You know how in your Amazon cart, they have the checkbox? So you can have, let's say, 20 items in your Amazon cart, but you can deselect and then select the ones that you actually want. And out of those 20, let's say that you want 5 to be shipped to you at that moment, and that's what your cart currently is. Barnes & Noble's, again, me and my black self and adding that S to the end of that name, Barnes & Noble needs the checkbox in the cart. Like that's what they need. They need the checkbox in the cart so it can all be one order and I can get one box. Even though opening a bunch of different book boxes and knowing, it's just, that's a good feeling too. I don't know. But yeah, I'm a little less blue, I think, because the sun has decided to come from behind the clouds. But let me do what I said I was going to do. I did not anticipate to talk for this long. Strawberry. Yeah, look at me. This is the first time that I'm vlogging today because we actually picked up my little cousin yesterday, and she'll be with us for the next week essentially. She's going back home on Friday, and so a lot of my time will be occupying her and making sure that she has fun and is like being safe and all those fun things. But I was able to get some reading done. I read some pages in the Jasad Air. I forget what page I stopped on, but I may be around the 150 page mark. I also am about to finish my audiobook of Our Lady of Mysterious Ailments. I'm actually on a late night reading sprint that I found, so I'm going to do that. And then also read a couple volumes of manga, either on my Kindle or on my computer, just to see how I like it. And yeah, those are the vibes. And I'm going to just continue to hydrate and eat some chocolate covered pretzels. So it's been a minute since I've actually talked to the camera. Today is now, well, it's 12:53 a.m. on Thursday, August 24th, and so she has one more full day with us. But in true fashion, I haven't really been vlogging. Well, I've been vlogging some things, but I haven't really been reading like I normally would. So I decided that I would just extend this vlog and make this a week and a half long vlog. But what have I been doing in terms of reading? I made some headway in The Water Outlaws. Yeah, my book is stained because my cousin spilled a bunch of lotion on it. She's 4, by the way. And so that happened. But I got to page is that 70, 71. And yeah, I don't even know how to explain what The Water Out is. Oh wait, but I think, was that in last week's vlog? That might have been in last week's vlog where I did the synopsis, so I'm not going to redo that. And if it's not in last week's vlog, it's in an earlier clip in this vlog. But I've been enjoying it so far. We have only really gotten 3 characters. We've gotten Lin Chong, who is our master arms instructor, who is labeled a traitor and a criminal and has to flee. And then we also have Lee Junye, who is a close associate and friend, and is also high up in the political atmosphere, political sphere. We have Lu Da, who is young, and she has introduced, or is about to introduce, Lin Chong to these water outlaw bandits. So that's going pretty well. I'm still reading The Duchess Effect. I'm really enjoying it. I mean, I understand why this had to be 2 separate books, and this one really investigates or explores what it is probably like in British royal family. Especially, I don't know if people have watched it, but there was a Netflix special called Meghan and Harry, and my partner and I watched, I believe it was only 4 episodes, and we watched 3 of them. And you get an interesting insight to how that, plus The Crown, gives you an interesting insight into how the monarchy is an institution, and the people within the monarchy participate in it, but they're really just, not just because, I mean, there's a whole history of colonialism and imperialism, but they are employees. They are servants to the idea of the monarchy. And so the Duchess effect is really exploring what you have to sacrifice in order to uphold this monarchy. Especially Duchess, because she is, one, an American, so she has a different perspective because we don't have a monarchy. And I mean, the whole premise of the start of our country is breaking from this same monarchy. She is an American, she's black, she's a woman, and she is opinionated, and she has these opinions, and she's realizing that even though they're my family members of the royal family who share her opinions, they are not going to publicly do the right thing because the monarchy has to be seen as this apolitical entity. I don't know. I mean, it's a romance in that they are a couple and they're exploring themselves as, but I don't know. I mean, it's definitely a romance. I don't want to say it's not a romance. It's definitely a romance. I know exactly how, not exactly, but I'm pretty sure I know if there is a third act breakup, I know why it would occur because of some of the decisions that Danny has made. Book club is tomorrow. We find ourselves in that predicament where I need to get a bunch of reading done. That's what I should be doing now, honestly. And I'm tempted to see if, I don't know why I didn't think of this before, if the Bone Shard War is available at my library and I listen to the audiobook as I interact with my cousin and get some things done, and I can actually start that now. I don't want to place a hold. I really don't. Why is it on hold? Okay, I guess I'll be physically reading. Actually, let me check Libra FM. I also started, I think I started it yesterday or the day before yesterday. I started another audiobook called The Rhythm of Time by Questlove with S.A. Cosby. And again, it's been so long since I've actually talked to the camera, so I don't remember if I've even mentioned this yet. And I'm really enjoying it. It's really good. It's about this boy is not technologically, like his father doesn't believe in giving him technology. He doesn't have a phone, doesn't have a laptop because he thinks it's going to hinder him. And this young boy likes rap, he likes comics, and he and his father just have this disconnect. His best friend, Kasia, so the little boy's name is Raheem, and his best friend Kasia is this brilliant genius, and she creates this cell phone that he does not have to pay a cell phone bill on using some frequencies that the US government used, and she gives it to him. And in using the phone, he gets sent back to the past. He gets sent back to like 1997. And he meets and befriends the childhood version of his father. And he sees just how much they could have in common, but how his father's father, so Raheem's grandfather, is very much like the current day version of his father. And I guess as I'm just telling you this, I'm realizing how this is an interesting commentary on generational curses and how inadvertent or by choice maybe it can be so easy to become your parents or your parent or your guardian or whoever, even when they're essentially the antithesis to your personality. And so, I mean, that's just very interesting. So you have dual perspectives because you have Raheem back in 1997 messing up the timeline, and Kasia in the present because they're able to talk through this phone she created. Kasia in the present trying to like keep it all together and bring him back home, and she's like, don't talk to anyone, like literally don't talk, just find some place to sit there. And he goes and talks to probably the one person he really should not talk to. And I am a little over 3 hours and I'm 74% of the way through. It's a very short audiobook and I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. I'm very glad that I read it. And I would hope to read more by this duo, Questlove and S.A. Cosby, because I mean, this is a gem of an audiobook. And I'll probably be buying a physical copy or adding this to my Amazon wish list. But yeah, those are the vibes on this very late Wednesday, early Thursday. And this clip is nearing 10 minutes of raw footage. So
When I saw you walking down that hill, head high and shoulders back, watching you was such a thrill. All that I could do was laugh. I couldn't hold it back. I couldn't hold it. I couldn't hold it back. We were running on
beautiful people. It is Sunday, Sunday, August 27th, I believe. Yeah, Sunday night. I finished The Bone Shard War on Friday night. Oh, really? Come on now. On Friday night, 4.5 stars, really enjoyed it. Loved how everything wrapped up. I would highly recommend this fantasy series. Anyone who likes epic fantasy, who likes multi-POVs, likes a very unique, interesting magic system, who enjoys magical creature companions. I really enjoyed it. Be Too Weird had an author chat with Andrea Stewart on Saturday, so that was really cool. Just, you know, seeing how she created this world and her process in doing all of that. And I'm looking forward to whatever it is that she comes out with next. I am about 50% into the Jasad Air. I was reading quite a bit of it tonight. Where is it? And I don't know, it's weird. Like the first half, because I think I'm like 56. Oh, okay, of course, like all the light has disappeared now. Hold on. There we go. I think 57% of the way through. Let me check. Yeah, exactly. 57% of the way through. And I was a little bored up until about, there we go, about 40%. And then now it's starting to pick up and become more interesting. So, I don't know, because there was definitely a point where I was like, am I even going to finish this book? I don't know. But I am. I'm looking forward to finishing it. Bay and I went to Barnes & Noble's yesterday because he put a book on hold. And tell me why we both left out with books that we did not intend, like we did not plan. I didn't plan on getting anything. I was just there as company, right? And I ended up buying a bunch of things. So I'm going to film my summer book haul tonight. Just realized that this is totally crooked. I'm going to film my summer book haul. It was originally going to be just the books I purchased during the Barnes & Noble 50% off sale, but I figured I might as well include these comics that I got as well from Barnes & Noble, as well as 2 special editions that I recently got in the mail. And yeah, I'm contemplating also filming my September TBR hopefuls list, but I haven't finalized what I want to go on that, so I'm not going to do that just yet. Also, filming kind of drains me, not gonna lie. So I feel like I'll only really have energy for one video, which is totally fine. So I'm gonna drink some water and then do that. Also, look at this cute little cup that they got me. It's all the different poses that a cat makes. They're like what they mean. I was just showing it to them when we were in Barnes & Noble, and I was like, oh, isn't this so cute? And he was like, I'll buy it for you. So yeah. This makes me so happy. I'm not really a hot coffee drinker, even though I collect mugs like it's my business. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll put water in this and drink it out of here. But, yeah. I just like looking at it now. But that is it in terms of updates. I still have not finished the Duchess Effect. I need to do that. But we'll see. Maybe I'll continue on in the Jasad Air. Oh, also, I started and finished A Shimmer of Red by Valerie Burns. Right? Is that the author? I read the audiobook. I believe I'm going to give this probably 4 stars. That feels right. There was definitely more of a mystery aspect to this. Is it by Valerie Burns? It's not by Valerie Burns. I mean, the cover's going to be right here. You can see who the author is. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I liked it. Like I said, I listened to the audiobook, and it's, you know, it's a cozy mystery with some death sprinkled in there. This is probably my favorite one in the series so far. It's the 3rd one that I've listened to. But those are the vibes. That's what I've been doing in terms of reading. I recently, as in like today, started the audiobook for Nothing Interesting Ever Happens to Ethan Fairmont. It is a middle grade sci-fi about this young black boy who is this genius inventor, and him and a new kid in the neighborhood and his ex-best friend come across this like scientific alien, I think. But it's like made of robot pieces or something like that. But it seems pretty interesting so far, so that's cool. But yeah, let me drink some water and record my summer book haul so that I can edit it and maybe get it up for Tuesday. So being the loving pet mom that I am, I bought a automatic electric kitty litter from one of my best friends. and I am setting it up. Strawberry is very intrigued. I thought she would run from it. When we first brought it in on, what day was that, Friday? She sniffed the box, sniffed the bag, sniffed it, and now that I'm setting it up, she has not left. So I'm hoping this means, well, I know it means she's not like afraid of it and she's used to it being in her space. That's why I left it just sitting for 3 days so she could, you know, get used to it being there. So I'm gonna put some of her litter in and set this up and see what she does. See how she likes it. Hi, you. Hi, y'all. So I'm feeling really good. You might be wondering why are we at this angle in the vlog. It's because I just filmed my second video of the day. Look at me go. So earlier I went out and I took a bunch of books to some little free libraries in my neighborhood and I vlogged that. Well, I guess we can call it a vlog. I created a video out of that, and then I spent 30 minutes perusing my rainbow shell. And I took about, I want to say 14 books off of these shelves to be put in my Pango bookshop, and I'm feeling good. That felt really nice. And this is the shelf I pulled from the least, and I knew that there were, you know, just some books in here that I'm never going to get to, and I'm never going to be pulled to them, right? Because there are a ton of books that I'm never going to get to, but I still am pulled to them. They're just books behind me that, like, or they were behind me that I felt nothing towards. So I'm going to put these all in my Pango bookshop, and some of them have like underlining, so those I think I'm going to just put to the side to be put in a library. And I'm going to finish up this audiobook and also drink some water because it is warm. Hello, it is Wednesday, August 30th. I've lost another nail. Love that. But last night I finished, finally, The Duchess Effect. I feel like I've been reading this for 3 vlogs now, but that anyways. So I initially had said that I knew exactly what the third act breakup would be. And I'm happy to report that I was wrong, and that there wasn't really a third act breakup. There was more of a, like, we need to take some time to just like regroup on our separate sides of the ocean and be like, hey, this is what I'm going through, and like, how do we come together and solve that? And I appreciated the fact that it was not a miscommunication trope. Oh my goodness, thank God. Even though Danny was low-key lying, but Jameson was like, he understood why to a certain degree, but they had to realize that they each were not dealing with this trauma from their separate past. And so I ended up giving this a 4 stars. I will say that the ending again felt a little rushed, and I don't know, I guess I would not be surprised if there was a third book in this series following the 2 of them, because the way that it ends is like, okay, great, they're still together, but they're definitely gonna have a lot of the same, not a lot of the same problems, they're gonna have different problems, but the way that the author kind of sets us up in the beginning, I thought that they would, I thought it would have ended slightly differently, with them still together, but I thought that it would have ended slightly differently. So I do think that Tracy Lysay is maybe preparing us for book 3, and I don't know, which is so interesting because I don't usually read romance series where they follow the same couple. Usually it's like companion novels, but it's interesting. It's very interesting. And I know a lot of particularly Black indie authors do that, where they have a series that follows the same couple through different trials and tribulations, which is an interesting take on just like a romance novel in general and the romance genre. So this was definitely an interesting experience, and I didn't know how I would feel about being in the same with the same couple in a second book, but I enjoyed it. And I wouldn't be mad if we got a third book with Danny and Jameson. Oh, don't you love how in the beginning of the vlog I was like, oh, I'm going to choose a Ningbo book to read and I must finish it in this vlog. I read 4 pages, y'all. I don't even think it was 4 pages. Why am I like this? So what I'm gonna do, since today is the last day of this vlog, finally, OMG, this is going to be my focus for the vlog that is starting tomorrow. I'm saying that now. I'm saying it to the camera so it becomes true. But I don't have any other like, oh, I'm lying. I'm sitting here and I'm lying. I was literally just listening to a book. So on Monday, okay, now love that for me. On Monday, I started the ebook, not the ebook, the audiobook for the final revival of Opal and Nev, which is August's book for Bibliophiles Unite Book Club, which is my book club, right? So we meet the second Thursday of every month, and by meet I literally mean like we talk in the Discord. That is our designated day, full day, just spoilery everything. And I finally decided that I wanted to actually read the book of the month in the month that it was for, because I have this tendency to like start it at the end of the month and go into the beginning. But I heard that the audiobook for this is full cast and it's great. It has some of my favorite narrators, including Bonnie Turpin, which is just like chef's kiss. I love her voice so much. But what is this about? Also, this cover. The audiobook that I'm listening to has a different cover. I guess it's the paperback cover, which I'll put right here. And it's fun, but it's not this. Like, this really encapsulates what this book is about. So what is this? Okay, all that hair. I love my cat, but her fur is everywhere. Okay, anyways. Opal is a fiercely independent young woman pushing against the grain in her style and attitude. A black punk artist before her time. Coming of age in Detroit, she can't imagine settling for a comfortable job. Despite her unconventional looks, Opal believes she can be a star. So when British singer-songwriter Neville Charles discovers her at a bar's amateur night, she takes him up on his offer to make rock music together for the fledgling Rivington Records. In early 70s New York City, just as she's finding her niche as part of a flamboyant and funky creative scene, a rival band signed to her label brandishes a Confederate flag at a promotional concert. What? Wait a minute. Wait. What? Okay, I'm like at 32% in the audiobook, and that has not happened yet. Wow. So I just knew that this was about a black woman punk artist who like was ahead of her time, and they hint at the death of one of their band members in the beginning. Like, whoa, I did not know that's how. Okay, let's continue and then I'll what I knew and didn't know. Opal's bold protests and the violence that ensues set off a chain of events that will not only change the lives of those she loves, but also be a deadly reminder that repercussions are always harsher for women, especially black women who dare to speak their truth. Decades later, as Opal considers a 2016 reunion with Nev, music journalist S. Sunny Shelton seizes the chance to curate an oral history about her idols. Sunny thought she knew most of the stories leading up to the cult duo most politicized chapter, but as her interviews dig deeper, a nasty new allegation from an unexpected source threatens to blow up everything. Provocative and chilling, the final revival of Opal and Nev features a backup chorus of unforgettable voices, a heroine the likes of which we haven't seen in storytelling, and a daring structure, and introduces a bold new voice in contemporary fiction. Wow. Okay, so I'm at 32% in the audiobook, which is like 4 hours in, and we have not hit that Confederate flag situation that was just mentioned in the synopsis. So the way it opens up is like it's like an editor's note, because it is an oral history telling. That's how it is. I don't want to compare it to Daisy Jones and the Six, which I loved, because I think that we have a tendency of doing that, especially with authors of color, specifically women of color. Whenever something it has a similar structure to a popular white book, like that's the comp title that first comes to mind. But if you have read Daisy Jones and the Six or listened to it, and you know the fact that it's a collection or a compilation of interviews, that's what this is, as well as editorial notes and just editors' insertion of different facts and details from the time period. And so what's interesting is that the editor of this oral history is the daughter of one of the band, and you learn in the very beginning of the book that this band member was killed during a riot of some sort, and I'm guessing that's what synopsis is talking about, the riot that ensues after this Confederate flag protest, because Opal is a black woman, the rest of the band except for the drummer is a black man. So you have two black artists and this majority white band. They're making punk rock music, And I wish this was real. Like, I'm sure this is based off of a real band or like a real artist of some sort. For some reason, Jada Pinkett Smith and that phase she went through is coming to mind, but I know it's not based off of that. Because the characters are interesting. Like, it's good so far. It's very good. I see this being no less than a 4-star read. It has the potential to be 4.5, 5 stars, but we'll see how it deals with all of the rest of that it said. But yeah, this clip is way too long. I don't even know how we got to what the timestamp is saying. Hello, it is the next day. So we're gonna end this vlog. It has been interesting and kind of reading filled 2 weeks, so I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed all the b-roll. This is probably the most b-roll heavy vlog that I will have for a while, but it's been fun. Hope you're doing a lot of reading. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Like, comment, share, and I will see you in the next video. Happy reading. Bye.
Showing. I ain't living for the moment. I see what's mine and I want it. Hungry like a Pac-Man. I'm Bruce Wayne and Batman. I'm Naruto with a Hanzo. Got a sharp mind like I'm Einstein. Plus I'm copywriting, so it's all mine. Check it for me, I'm in the sky.